At exactly 1 minute ago, the fragile peace covering the volatile region of the Middle East was completely shattered when a coordinated and unprecedented military assault was launched by the armed forces of Iran, targeting both the United States naval fleet and the northern defense perimeters of Israel. In a desperate and highly calculated gamble, the political and military leadership of Iran decided to break the temporary ceasefire that had been established just days prior, believing that the United States and Israel were distracted by the ongoing humanitarian and political crises in Palestine. The Strategic Command in Tehran initiated a massive multi-domain operation designed to permanently cripple Allied forces in the Persian Gulf and the eastern Mediterranean Sea. It began precisely at 2 o'clock in the morning local time, when a fleet of Iranian stealth fast attack vessels, disguised as innocuous civilian fishing boats, suddenly accelerated to speeds exceeding 40 knots, swarming the primary strike group of the United States Navy, which was peacefully navigating through international waters, simultaneously, deep within the heavily fortified subterranean bunkers of Iran. Supreme commanders ordered the immediate launch of over 100 intermediate-range ballistic missiles. These sophisticated weapons were specifically programmed to bypass the standard early warning systems by employing a terrifying new form of electronic warfare, known colloquially as noise jamming. This advanced tactic flooded the Allied radar screens with thousands of phantom targets, completely blinding the surface to air defense batteries at the exact same moment. The military coordination extended beyond the borders of Iran, reaching deep into the disputed territories of Palestine, where Allied proxy networks affiliated with Tehran began a synchronized barrage of unguided rockets, aimed directly at the civilian and military infrastructure of Israel. The objective of Iran was ruthlessly clear: overwhelm the Iron Dome defense system of Israel with sheer volume from Palestine, while simultaneously delivering a decapitating blow to the command and control centers of the United States fleet. The night sky over the region turned into a blinding canvas of fiery propulsion trails and deafening sonic booms as the missiles from Iran tore through the stratosphere at Mach 5, aboard the command vessel of the United States Navy. Chaos was narrowly averted by the absolute discipline of the sailors and the instantaneous activation of the Aegis combat system. The American commanding officer, realizing the magnitude of the ambush orchestrated by Iran, immediately authorized the deployment of the electronic countermeasure network. A squadron of stealth fighter jets, specifically the F-35 model, was catapulted into the dark skies, their advanced sensors slicing through the electronic interference generated by the Iranian jamming arrays. As the American jets established dominance in the air, the naval destroyers of the United States launched a massive salvo of interceptor missiles, engaging the incoming Iranian threats at the very edge of the atmosphere. However, the sheer scale of the attack from Iran was staggering, and a handful of hypersonic glide vehicles managed to slip through the outer defensive perimeter, crashing into the ocean with explosive force just hundreds of yards away from the hull of an American aircraft carrier, sending massive shockwaves that violently shook the 100,000-ton vessel. Meanwhile, the situation within the borders of Israel was equally dire. The coordinated rocket fire from Palestine, secretly funded and armed by the intelligence services of Iran, created a massive smoke screen for a more sinister threat. Utilizing the cover of the chaotic rocket barrage, elite special operations forces from Iran attempted a covert amphibious landing along the northern coastline of Israel. Their mission was to sabotage critical desalination plants and energy grids, thereby forcing Israel to divert vital military resources away from the primary offensive originating from the territory of Iran. But the intelligence apparatus of Israel, widely regarded as one of the most sophisticated in the world, had anticipated such a maneuver. The defense forces of Israel had secretly positioned heavily armed autonomous drone swarms and elite naval commandos along the vulnerable coastal sector when the Iranian amphibious units breached the shallow waters. They were met with an overwhelming wall of precision machine gun fire and micro-missile strikes from the Israeli defensive grid. The attempted infiltration by Iran was crushed within minutes, leaving the surviving operatives stranded and forced to surrender to the advancing Israeli infantry, recognizing that the multifaceted attack had failed to achieve its primary objectives. The supreme leader of Iran ordered the activation of their ultimate deterrent, the deployment of 3 extremely quiet diesel-electric submarines, heavily modified with advanced anaerobic propulsion systems, slipping silently from their hidden pens into the murky depths of the Arabian Sea. These subsurface predators from Iran aimed to hunt down the American nuclear submarines that were secretly shadowing the United States carrier strike group. What the naval commanders of Iran did not realize was that the ocean floor had already been wired with an extensive network of highly sensitive hydrophones by the combined naval forces of the United States and Israel. As soon as the Iranian submarines crossed the invisible acoustic tripwires, their exact coordinates were broadcast directly to the Tactical Operations Center in Tel Aviv and Washington. The retaliation from Israel and the United States was swift, ruthless, and absolute. The Prime Minister of Israel, in direct coordination with the President of the United States, authorized a full-scale counter-strike aimed at the very heart of the military infrastructure of Iran. Within minutes, a massive formation of advanced stealth bombers from the United States Air Force, taking off from remote bases in the Indian Ocean, penetrated the highly defended airspace of Iran without ever being detected by the much-touted S-400 anti-aircraft radar systems. These stealth bombers were carrying dozens of 2,000-pound precision-guided bunker-buster munitions. Their targets were the deeply buried missile silos and nuclear research facilities of Iran, scattered across the mountainous terrain of the country. Simultaneously, the Air Force of Israel launched a daring low-altitude strike package, weaving through the treacherous valleys of the Middle East to deliver devastating blows to the command centers of the Revolutionary Guard of Iran. The simultaneous strikes by the United States and Israel hit their marks with terrifying accuracy. Deep inside Iran, massive subterranean explosions literally shook the earth, causing the underground command bunkers to collapse entirely, permanently burying the strategic ambitions of the military leadership of Iran under thousands of tons of rock and twisted steel. On the surface, the Iranian air defense operators could only watch in horrified disbelief as their radar screens remained completely blank, while their most prized military installations were methodically vaporized by the invisible coalition forces of the United States and Israel. The entire retaliatory operation lasted precisely 45 minutes, but the strategic landscape of the Middle East was irrevocably altered. The message sent by the United States and Israel was unmistakable and terrifyingly clear. Any attempt by Iran to utilize proxy forces in Palestine or directly engage Allied military assets would result in the immediate and total annihilation of their military capabilities. The surviving leadership of Iran, completely cut off from their obliterated command networks, frantically attempted to broadcast a message of de-escalation through back-channel diplomatic routes, begging for an immediate cessation of hostilities. The aggressive posturing of Iran had completely backfired, resulting in the loss of decades of military buildup and research in a single night of fire and ruin. As the sun began to rise over the smoking ruins in Iran, the streets of Palestine experienced a tense and eerie silence. The proxy groups, realizing that their primary benefactor in Tehran had been effectively neutralized, immediately halted their rocket attacks against Israel and retreated into their subterranean tunnel networks. The defense forces of Israel maintained their high alert status, their combat aircraft continuously patrolling the skies above Palestine and the northern borders, ensuring that no further threats could materialize. The United States naval fleet, entirely unscathed, repositioned itself into a more aggressive posture off the coast of Iran, projecting absolute dominance over the vital maritime choke points. The world watched in stunned silence as the sheer technological and tactical superiority of the United States and Israel was brutally demonstrated. This hypothetical but grounded scenario illustrates the immense dangers of asymmetric warfare and the terrifying speed at which modern conflicts can escalate into total devastation. It serves as a stark reminder to Iran and its affiliates in Palestine that the defensive pacts between Israel and the United States are not merely diplomatic pleasantry, but ironclad commitments backed by the most lethal military hardware on the planet. The total collapse of the Iranian offensive strategy highlights the fundamental flaw in their military doctrine, relying on deception, electronic noise, and the exploitation of localized conflicts in Palestine cannot overcome the integrated, multi-domain war-fighting capabilities of a technologically advanced coalition. The failure of Iran to mask their submarine deployments, the complete ineffectiveness of their electronic jamming, against the American stealth fighters, and the rapid neutralization of their amphibious assault against Israel all point to a massive intelligence and technological deficit. Moving forward, the strategic planners in Iran will have to fundamentally reassess their approach to regional dominance, as the United States and Israel have unequivocally proven that they possess both the capability and the unwavering will to strike deep within the borders of Iran whenever provoked. The citizens of Israel can find temporary solace in the impenetrable shield provided by their armed forces and their American ally, while the people of Palestine are left to grapple with the consequences of being utilized as mere pawns in the grand geopolitical chess match orchestrated by Tehran. Ultimately, the unyielding alliance between the United States and Israel stands as the paramount bulwark against the destabilizing ambitions of Iran, ensuring that the fragile balance of power in the Middle East is maintained through overwhelming strength and the constant readiness to unleash absolute destruction upon those who seek to unravel the fabric of global peace. The events of this terrifying night will be analyzed in military academies for generations to come, a testament to the brutal efficiency of modern warfare and the perpetual necessity for vigilance in an unpredictable and highly dangerous world. The technological disparity was never more apparent than during the final phases of the engagement, where the drone swarms of Israel systematically dismantled the remaining logistical hubs of the proxy forces inside Palestine, ensuring that no resupply efforts from Iran could ever reach their intended destinations. The military high command of Iran, secluded in their few surviving secondary bunkers, watched helplessly as their entire asymmetric warfare playbook was torn to shreds by the precision targeting capabilities of the United States. The intelligence agencies of Israel, working in seamless synchronization with American satellite reconnaissance, continuously provided real-time data feeds that allowed the strike packages to dynamically adjust their trajectories mid-flight. This unparalleled level of integration meant that even the highly mobile missile launchers of Iran, attempting to relocate under the cover of darkness, were instantly detected and destroyed before they could even initiate their firing sequences. The absolute failure of the early warning networks in Iran exposed a critical vulnerability in their national defense infrastructure, a vulnerability that the United States and Israel exploited with surgical precision. The involvement of Palestine as a staging ground for the initial diversionary tactics of Iran only solidified the resolve of the Israeli government to maintain absolute control over their security perimeters. The Prime Minister of Israel addressed the nation shortly after the operations concluded, emphatically stating that the era of tolerating continuous threats from Iran and its proxies in Palestine was officially over. The President of the United States echoed this sentiment in an emergency address from the Oval Office, declaring that the American military would not hesitate to completely dismantle any regime that dared to threaten the safety of Israel or the strategic interests of the United States in the region. The aftermath of this unprecedented military confrontation left the economy and the military of Iran in absolute ruins. International markets, initially panicked by the outbreak of hostilities, quickly stabilized as it became readily apparent that the United States and Israel had decisively ended the conflict in a matter of hours. The naval blockade implemented by the American fleet effectively cut off all remaining oil exports from Iran, completely severing the financial lifeline of the Revolutionary Guard. The political ramifications were equally devastating for the leadership of Iran. As internal dissent grew rapidly in the wake of their humiliating defeat, the citizens of Iran, long suffering under the oppressive regime, began to openly question the disastrous military decisions that led to the unprovoked attack against the United States and Israel. Meanwhile, in Palestine, the realization that Iran could no longer provide financial or military support led to a sudden and dramatic shift in the local power dynamic, creating a rare opportunity for moderate factions to negotiate a lasting peace settlement with Israel. The swift and decisive actions taken by the United States and Israel not only neutralized an immediate existential threat, but also fundamentally reshaped the geopolitical landscape of the entire Middle East for decades to come. The unparalleled dominance of the American and Israeli forces served as a grim warning to any other adversarial nations contemplating similar aggressive actions. The world had witnessed the full devastating potential of a fully integrated multi-domain military response, and the absolute necessity of maintaining overwhelming technological superiority in the 21st century. As the dust finally settled over the scorched earth of the Iranian military base, the absolute victory of the United States and Israel stood as a towering monument to the power of unwavering alliances and the absolute futility of attempting to challenge the masters of modern warfare. The legacy of this short but incredibly violent conflict will forever be etched into the annals of military history, a permanent reminder that the combined might of Israel and the United States is a force that simply cannot be defeated by the outdated and desperate tactics of Iran. The peace that followed was not merely the absence of war, but a peace enforced by the undeniable and absolute supremacy of the Allied forces, ensuring the safety and security of the free world against the dark forces of tyranny and aggression forevermore.